at 6, ATM outage. Samantha Condra tells us about one of the banks affected by an ATM outage taking place across the Midwest.
And on the market, Amelia Miles has the story of a surprising property downtown that's much more than its hefty price tag.
Thanks for being with us. I'm Linda Jackson.
And I'm Heather Herron. 21Alive News at 6 begins right now.
From WPTA, this is 21Alive News at 6.
And we want to begin with what you're talking about. And Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach has been talking about most of the day. But first of all, officially at 6, let's welcome this sweet lady,
Yes.
shall we? Hi,
Thank you
Heather
so much. It's so good to be here. And you all have been so welcoming and kind. And now I can take a breath.
It's
and
been
enjoy.
a great day.
Yeah.
It's been a great day.
Yes,
having
thank you so
here.
much.
We are together at 4, 5, and 6 every evening, and I'm so happy to have you here. We all
Good
are.
to be here.
Yes, great to have you here. I wish the weather was nicer, but again, we're under a moderate drought, so this is actually, I guess, a good thing.
Yeah,
this is good luck.
definitely.
That's what they try to tell me on my wedding day, too, with the rain and good luck. But we are seeing clouds and showers right now. The good news is that we will see some of this rain lift clouds kind of clear away over the next couple of days, meaning some brighter days are ahead, but also warmer by next week. We're going to see temperatures back into the 80s, believe it or not. Satellite and radar showing that the bulk of the rain that we've been seeing this afternoon is lifting north into northwest Ohio, north and east toward Toledo. That's where the steady rain is going to be tonight, but as you can see, there are some scattered showers off to the south and west that will still make their way through our area kind of intermittently here tonight. Mid-60s now, temperatures in the mid-60s, 64 in Fort Wayne, which happens to be our high for today. 59, mostly cloudy with some showers, but patchy fog is possible. Visibility could be reduced. Tomorrow, we're still going to see a lot of cloud cover, but at least a few more sun breaks than we saw today, which we didn't see any today. Low 70s likely tomorrow, so a much warmer day. But 80s are in our future. We'll talk about that in my full forecast in about 15 minutes.
Matt, thank you so much. In the news, several banks and credit unions are dealing with an ATM outage across the Midwest, including Indiana. 21Alive News reporter Samantha Condra has more details. Samantha?
Linda, we don't know exactly what's causing this, but it's making things difficult to get cash without going to your bank in person. Multiple statements from the banks and credit unions say the problem is unexpected issues with an external vendor. Lake City Bank is one of those affected. They recommend on their website to use other ATMs, and they did say that they will pay back any fees. Not only is it a nuisance, though, the owner of 9 Gigabyte Tech says it's an opportunity scammers might jump at.
When things like this strike, there are terrible things and people out there that'll say this is a great opportunity to take advantage of somebody's, data or find alternatives to get them to pay.
Cable tells me people will pretend to be your bank, say your payment didn't go through because of the ATM outage, and then ask for your bank information. For more information on this story, you can head to our website at 21alivenews.com.
All right, thank you, Samantha. Police arrested multiple people after searching an Adams County home. Officers tried to serve an arrest warrant to 28-year-old Kane Lee Vaughn of Bluffton when he led them on a car chase that ended in Monroeville. They say after his arrest, their investigation gave them cause to request a warrant to search his home. And that's when SWAT found several guns and a variety of illegal drugs. They also arrested 25-year-old Mackenzie Van Loo of Rochester and 40-year-old Bernardo Garcia of Decatur.
The race for the White House continues tonight as the second Republican presidential primary debate is set to take place. 21Alive Digital Desk anchor Amr Abbas has more on what we can expect.
We're joined now with 21Alive's national political editor and White House correspondent John Decker. John, the second GOP debate is scheduled to take place tonight. What's at stake?
Well, there's 7 candidates that will be on that debate stage this evening, Amr, and for many of them, they are still stuck in the single digits. And so for them, it's a make or break event. They're either going to move on after gaining some steam from this second debate, or they will have to reevaluate whether to proceed with this run for the Republican nomination.
John, here in 21 country, we have more than 4,000 GM workers. They are all watching the auto worker strike very closely. What can you tell us about what former President Trump is doing tonight?
Well, he's doing a speech. He'll be doing this speech in Michigan a day after Joe Biden traveled to Michigan to march with UAW workers. The speech that Donald Trump will give tonight will not be to union workers, nor is it officially sanctioned by the UAW. He was not invited into Michigan by the union that's representing nearly 150,000 workers who are striking against the big three. But this is an opportunity his campaign feels for him to make some move for those blue-collar voters in Michigan. Michigan, as you know, Amr, such an important state for both political parties as it relates to 2024.
I'm going to put you on the spot right now, John. The next debate is November 8th. Do you expect Trump to be at that debate?
I don't. I think that he's made this calculated decision that it's not necessary for him to compete on that debate stage with him leading by such a large margin.
21Alive's national political editor and White House correspondent John Decker. John, thank you.
The Pact Act deadline. As a reminder, the next Pact Act deadline is this Saturday at midnight. The law, also known as the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson Honoring Our Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxics, or Pact Act, expands VA health care and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. For more information, call 1-800-MY-VA-411 or go to va.gov/pact.
A U.S. soldier who ran across the border from South Korea into the communist north over the summer is now back in U.S. custody. U.S. officials say it took an international effort to get him back in the country, and ABC's Rena Roy has that.
American Army soldier Travis King is back in U.S. custody, and officials say he appears to be in good health and spirits after being held in communist North Korea for months.
The United States has secured the return of Private Travis King from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
His return comes after this moment back in July. King reportedly pictured here dressed in black moments before authorities say he deliberately ran across the demilitarized zone, or DMZ, which separates the border between North and South Korea, immediately taken into North Korean custody. Now, months later, North Korean leaders releasing him, sending him to China with the help of Swedish officials, where he boarded a U.S. plane back home. U.S. officials praising the months-long international teamwork that went into securing King's release.
We're very thankful for the government of Sweden for their work as the protecting power that they did. We are open to diplomacy with North Korea. We would welcome diplomacy with North Korea, but I don't know that I would take from this that it heralds some breakthrough in diplomatic relations.
The 23-year-old Army private had been serving time in a South Korean jail following an assault conviction. After having completed his jail sentence, he was meant to be sent back to the U.S., set to face consequences from military officials for that jail time. Instead, officials say he left the airport in South Korea before illegally crossing into North Korea. King is expected to eventually go through the U.S. reintegration process. It's unclear if he'll face any further consequences. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Coming up tonight on 21Alive News at 7, Eric Olson will tell you about a public art movement shifting into higher gear out in 21 country.
In recent years, it seems there's been a big push for people to move to downtown Fort Wayne. One property that just hit the market, though, may be outside of most people's price range.
Our Amelia Miles took a tour of this multi-million-dollar condo and joins us with more.
Yeah, Linda and Heather, as some of you may know, after 10 years, the Thirsty Camel closed back in 2018. Ever since then, one family took on a challenge to create their dream home to make new memories. The project, now it's for sale with a price tag that's almost hard to believe until you see inside.
Knew there was something here, but we had no idea to this extent.
As you're traveling down Washington Boulevard, right across the street from the Grand Wayne Center, you would never think a property worth more than $4 million sits right here. This property now sits on the market for $4.29 million.
On the main floor, it was the iconic Thirsty Camel bar, and up here was a reception area.
The building was built back in 1915, home to many things, but the most recent was the Thirsty Camel bar. It closed in 2018. James Reeser, the realtor for the property, tells me a family with 5 kids took on the project.
Well, they wanted to be downtown and couldn't find the right space, so they bought the entire building and, like I said, spent 2 years converting this into their dream residence.
A patio, a large living room, and even a 14-car parking garage in the basement. So how many bedrooms again?
5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths.
If you buy this property, you don't just get the 10,000 square foot condo. You also get the 2 commercial spaces downstairs, now being occupied by the New York dentist and Innovative Engineering Services. They put in these stairs after the fact, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Wow. Reeser thinks a buyer is out there.
So far, we don't have an offer in place, but the feedback has been that they're pleasantly surprised that Fort Wayne has these type of properties.
And they are out there. And for more information on this property, me and Amr Abbas chatted on Facebook Live earlier today, so you can check it out there. But for now, Amelia Miles, 21 Alive News.
All right, Amelia, thank you. The United Way of Allen County is reaching new heights with its annual Over the Edge fundraiser. It rained today, but those wet conditions, if you will, didn't dampen a lot of people's spirits. More than 30 people rappelled from the top of the Heller Homes building today in an event that raises money for the United Way of Allen County. Leaders from United Way told us the money raised will go towards supporting community issues like homelessness, housing stability, and education. They say today's event is a unique and fun way to raise money for those efforts. You can hear from the people who took the leap of faith at 11.
Spotted at the Coliseum this afternoon, a room full of people who give back. Those who serve in the many nonprofits in Fort Wayne gathered to recognize outstanding leadership. Tom Powell explains why it was a special event for 21 Alive.
Jared Baker, Burt, Lee, Dixon, Sutton, and Blue.
One room, dozens of people passionate about their nonprofits. From Humane Fort Wayne to Audiences Unlimited, groups that live up to David Bobilia's legacy of service. The Fullinger Foundation honors 28 nominees each year, all up for this special award in his honor.
It's designed to honor people who serve as volunteers of these organizations and then give the award to the one that we think is the most outstanding. Obviously, it's a tough selection because they're all very good, but we're just happy to highlight these folks.
That level of all the nominees' dedication, making this moment
children, Linda Jackson.
Even more special for those who know Linda Jackson, this year's winner. Linda serves as board chair for Aaron's House. They help children deal with the grief of losing a loved one. Linda's passion born out of tragedy, losing her twin brother as a teen.
What you see on TV every evening on the newscast is the real thing, and that's what she is. She gets Aaron's House. She's been a great leader, board leader for Aaron's House.
And a great friend and coworker to all of us here at 21 Alive. Tom Powell, 21 Alive News.
Thank you.
In honor of Linda's service, Aaron House received a $25,000 operating grant. I know how much that organization means to you. You are so deserving, so congratulations.
So sweet, thank you. And Tom, thank you. I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know any of this was happening, but it's been a very special day. And I just want to say kudos to everybody at Aaron's House and everyone who serves that board. We have a special group, as we have so many special groups in our community. We're so blessed to live in Fort Wayne and have the people in our community who care about it so much. Thank you.
We're coming up on 21 Alive News at 6. Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach is in next with our full forecast. Stay with us.
A New Haven business is showing support for Community Harvest Food Bank in a very big way.
Kurt's Produce is celebrating its 40th anniversary with a Community Harvest Food Bank themed corn maze.
Kurt says Community Harvest takes their excess produce and helps feed the community with fresh fruits and vegetables. They say they will also hold a food drive while the corn maze is open, and you can get $1 off admission to the maze by bringing at least one non-perishable food item to donate. The corn maze and You Pick pumpkin patch will be open for the season beginning this Friday.
Now, your 21 Alive First Alert forecast.
What fun and how nice.
Yes.
And what great work they're doing.
And we're going to have such great weather for it, too.
I know. We're going to be seeing likely some hot pumpkin patch picking.
Maybe.
but that's okay, though. I mean, at least we're looking at some sunshine at the very least after some rain. Lawn's already greening up a little bit more.
Yes.
So, yeah, some good news all around, but some warmer temperatures, of course, on the way, too. Summer-like Some may also agree. The live look right now, well, some low clouds, a little bit of fog right now, and that's kind of a sign of things to come. As you can see on this live look, we are starting to see some color, right? 64 degrees, mostly cloudy, east wind at 9. This actually feels much more like a typical early fall day, but we are going to see temperatures rebound into the low 70s tomorrow with a few more sun breaks, and then likely into the low 80s by the end of the weekend, which is October 1st on Sunday. So satellite and radar showing clouds and showers moving into southern Michigan, northwest Ohio. This is a region, northwest Ohio, that did not quite see as much rain yesterday. Seeing some light rain today. Nothing really heavy has moved through our counties, though, in northwest Ohio. Van Wert and Mercer, though, you can see that there are some pockets of moderate rain. There was even a little cell bringing some lightning into southern Jay County and southern Mercer County, although that's already exiting the region. A few more scattered showers just north of Lafayette, too. It's likely, though, that's going to stay to the west of us, the intensity of it anyway. It's moving quite slowly. But I would expect that even though we are looking at just generally cloudy conditions for the most part now, intermittent showers are still possible here for the rest of the evening. Rainfall totals over the last 48 hours show some areas that saw about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, others seeing barely 1/4 inch. It just kind of depends on where you were. For the most part, if you're west of Fort Wayne, you had a much better chance, and into the south too, much better chance of seeing over 1 inch of rainfall. To the east, you didn't really see quite as much. But if we zoom out, as has been the case pretty much since late spring, early summer, most of the rain has fallen well toward northwest or to the southwest versus farther east. Current temperatures mid-60s locally, 10 degrees warmer though in Indy, and several degrees warmer than that in Evansville. Temperatures in the low 80s there. St. Louis into the low 80s. Evening planner shows that temperatures will only budge by, I'd say, a few degrees, down to about 62 as opposed to the mid-60s is where we're at right now. That's mainly because we're in a pretty stable weather pattern. Clouds, especially the low clouds, the fog, that kind of keeps the temperatures more or less where they are. And by the afternoon tomorrow, we should see enough clearing anyway to cause the temperature to rise quite a bit. You know, the sun angle is still high enough at this point where we should see some pretty decent recovery with what sunshine we see. But heading into Friday morning, again, some low clouds, maybe some fog, but then by the afternoon, we'll start to see some clearing. Still looking like a partly sunny day versus a mostly sunny one. Got to wait till the weekend before we really start to see those skies clear and those temperatures warm in a big way. So here's what we can actually expect as far as the temperature trend is concerned. Not looking too fall-like, actually. Partly sunny Friday, mostly sunny, though, Saturday, 77, 80 degrees on Sunday. So looking like a gorgeous weekend. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, low 80s. Overnight lows will be in the mid to upper 50s. And, you know, this is just perfect. It's not too hot, not too cold, and this is actually exactly the kind of weather you'd want for some really vibrant color, which we're already seeing to a degree. So pretty nice here for the next 7 days at least.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Coming up on 21Alive Sports, this athlete put up some incredible numbers for Cherubusco last Friday. We'll hear from our latest football player of the week next.
Chip in saying welcome to the team. Very
Thank you
exciting
so
to
much.
have you here. Hope that this first day has gone well.
It has been wonderful. Everyone has been so welcoming and encouraging and answered all of my questions without rolling their eyes.
Oh, of course.
So I very much appreciate that. So
the
thank
important
you, Zach.
thing about this particular spot in the newscast is we have to compliment Matt every single time when we tossed it.
It is in my contract.
He requires it.
Just so
Okay, so how's this? Matt, I think you're fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm looking this up. It was very nice of you, though.
It is not a requirement. Zach is, well, like many things, Zach's making that up. But,
I love it, though.
No. But we are looking at some fog, though, tonight, just to keep that in mind. Overnight low temperatures in the upper 50s, patchy fog. There are going to be some areas that could see lower visibility than others, particularly south and west of Fort Wayne. Look at Huntington, Wells, even Adams counties and Point South, perhaps under a mile visibility. Should clear out pretty quickly, though, by the afternoon. Could even see some partial sunshine, highs in the low 70s. And then the 7-day forecast shows a pretty summery trend. These are high temperatures that are more typical of late August, early September. So we'll enjoy it. Could have a whole week of these temperatures, too.
Bring it on, Matt.
Yep.
Yes, very nice.
Thank you so much. Again, great to have you here.
It's so good to be here.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Take care. More news coming up at 7.
News brought to you by Team Green Law.